guys, welcome back to Double Trouble. This is everyone's favorite Jemima Rodrigues, and we have thoda bahut favorite Smriti Mandana.
You're not everyone's favorite. You're not my favorite.
Okay, except Smriti, everybody else's favorite. So yeah. So Smriti, I think the response we've got from the Rohit Sharma episode is amazing. What do you say?
Yeah, Jami, I think everyone loved the show. So really happy with the way people have accepted the both episodes which have come. And yeah, keep supporting us, guys.
Yeah, we love your support and let us know how do you all feel. Also, in the past 2 episodes, we've spoken about our partnership off the field. So today, we are going to talk about our partnerships on the field. So Smriti and I have 300-run partnerships. Smriti, we have 300-run partnerships. That to all 3 in ODI.
Yeah, we have 3. I remember.
In T20, we had a 98-run partnership, so not 100. So
and I got out. Right?
You got out, definitely.
It has to be.
But out of all these 300-run partnerships, what do you think? Which one is the most special one to you? I think the first one was against Australia in Baroda.
Yeah.
We got 113, I think. That too in 13 overs. Something like that. The second one was in New Zealand, 190. And the third one was like 120 plus against West Indies. So which one would be your favorite?
I think all the 3 sabhi favorite hai. मतलब तीनों के तीनों अच्छे partnerships
Obviously, who was at the other end?
But yeah, I think the first one is always special, like the first century which you score is always special. The same way, I think. And I think that was the first match we opened first time for India together, right?
Together, right.
Yeah.
First time we opened for India.
No, I think we've opened previously in domestic, maybe one odd match. But for India, I think that was the first match. So, in the first match we were opening together and I think upon 333 chase kar rahe the. They had got 333 runs and everyone was really low and all. I think we were walking back to the dressing room after the first inning. And I came to you and I was like, Jemmy, कुछ भी हो Jemmy, अपने को chase करना है.
Yeah,
and you were also like, yes, Smriti करेंगे.
जोश में like high five we give, चलो chase करना है.
And then we went out and we started like hitting like maybe from the second or the third ball.
From the second or the third ball, yeah.
Yeah. First ball, I can't tell what happened. But yeah.
But I think it's more to do even with the crowd, Smriti. I mean, 15,000 people. Like I first time played in such a huge crowd. I don't know, you might have played many more matches, but they were so crazy and so energetic. I think we were getting more josh. I was hitting a boundary. Smriti was like, come on, Jerry. Smriti was hitting a boundary. I'm like, come on, Smriti, like that. So
which is always good, whenever you play in that kind of crowd, it's always वो जोश आ जाता है. And especially, when you're Australia के साथ खेलते तो वो जोश already 70 रहता है. And then that crowd gets us going. And then, I think that was really special. And though we lost the match and we got out on consecutive balls. But yeah, that was the first time.
Funny tha. So we got off to a flyer, like 13 overs, we were almost 112, 113. Then I hit a shot and that girl caught it and Smriti from the other end shouted, Jemmy, what hai Jemmy? We were going so well. Next ball, I just sat down and turned around. I'm like, shit, Smriti got out. Now what?
Yeah, I think, that was really special. And I don't think I'll ever forget that partnership. मुझे नहीं लगता, like the entire life, I won't ever forget that partnership of Baroda because अपन थोड़े अलग ही जोश में थे. I don't think we've had
After that. No.
We have that approach. We always go to win match. But that day it was something different.
Something different, really.
Yeah. So it has to be that one.
So yes. So hopefully many more such partnerships to come in the future. But now it's time to call our guest for today, Sania Mirza.
Woo. So how's been this lockdown treating you? I think this is the hot favorite question at this moment.
Yeah.
Everyone's just been asking, what are you up to?
Nothing. The same like what you said when we were off camera. Just a couple hours of workout a day. I mean, I have a 17-month-old son, so he keeps me on my toes for a good number of hours in the day. And just staying home. Yeah, I mean, I came back from America about 5.5 weeks ago. I came back just in time before the lockdown had started. So I was first in self-isolation for like 2 weeks and then, everything was fine. So then, obviously we've been in home quarantine for the last, 5 weeks. So it's been, I mean, I guess it's been tough in many ways, but then there are a lot of people in other tougher situations, right? So
yes.
I guess we still have to be grateful.
Do you at all need a trainer at this moment? Because your son will be making you run around throughout the house.
I don't need a trainer. See, he's here.
Oh yes,
Hi.
so sweet. Hi. She's so sweet.
We have a special guest entry today, Smriti, on our show.
Yeah.
Say hi. You wanna
Hi.
say hi? You wanna say hi?
Hi,
He's
Zach.
a girl, so there's a good chance you'll get a hi from him.
Oh, he's been trained well from the start, I guess.
I mean, I didn't train him. It went without it. It was a natural process.
I'll video call him privately later.
I think
He's that
two
cute,
kids will
man.
go around well.
Okay,
Two
say
kids,
bye. Say your
can
goodbye.
go around well.
Bye.
Bye.
Cricket in India is like, a very popular sport, and there's so many other sports like hockey. But choosing tennis, like, how did you choose tennis out of all the sports? I believe you might have had so many options.
In my family, so we've had, obviously my husband is a cricketer, but when I started playing tennis, my dad used to play cricket. My uncle was a Ranji player. My dad's, brother-in-law was the captain of the Indian team. So we had a lot of cricket in our family. So the natural progression for me, and honestly, if I was a boy, would have been cricket. There was no other choice. I would have just played cricket. But at that time, I think because I'm also, you guys are much younger than me. I think things changed a lot over the last 10, 12 years.
Correct.
When I started when I was 6, it was unheard of for girls to pick up a cricket bat. There was it's even now, it's not the most common thing every girl wants to do, right? To play a sport. So my parents wanted me to play a sport, and at that time I used to roller skate, I used to swim, and I used to play tennis. So I used to do 3 things, and I happened to be a lot better at tennis than the other things. I think they realized very fast, and that's how I got into tennis. There was no other, it was not some great backstory. It's just that my parents wanted me to play a sport, their child, whether it was a girl or a boy.
When I was a 9-year-old or 10-year-old girl, so my mom wanted me to play tennis because she loved individual sport, and at that moment cricket didn't have under 11s or under 12s.
Yeah.
So but I was such a batting fan that I said, okay, make me play tennis at this moment, but after 5 years I'll end up playing cricket. So
yeah.
So she said to me, no, it's okay, better you
but
go,
tell
you
me
play
if I'm
cricket.
wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Cricket you can start a slightly later, right? It's okay if you start around 11, 12, because in tennis, if you miss the bus, if you don't play around 5, 6, 7, then it's very rare that you're going to really make a mark, because that age is very important.
I think in cricket you can start anywhere till you're 17, 18, not even 11, 12, because
wow. Okay, so that's
our captain Herman, T20 captain, so she started playing cricket at 16, and she ended up playing for India in 3.5, 4 years, because she had those great performances in the domestic
but
circuit.
Everybody is not so talented, so I don't think we should encourage this. I think that there are very, very rare people who are that talented who can start much later in life and then still make it that well.
When you tweeted on the World Cup, Women's World Cup, when Mitchell Starc had flew for Elisa Healy, and you came saying, sure thing, God forbid, it would be a guy from the subcontinent, the guy would be called a Joruka Ghulam in 1 second. Good on you, Mitchell. Couple goals for you. So would you like to elaborate or say something about that tweet? Because it actually cracked us all up.
No, so it was funny because I think me and Anushka probably relate to this the most, because I think that whenever our husbands perform, it's because of them, and when they don't perform, it's because of us. So I don't know how that works, but I think that's we are saying it in a joke, but I think there's a much deeper issue. The deeper issue is that a woman can always be a distraction and not a strength, and I think that's a cultural issue that we always have to sort of if your girlfriend is there or if your wife is there, he must be distracted because he's going out for dinner. That doesn't even make any sense. What sense does that make? So the thing is that the same thing, when he went back to his wife to watch the World Cup final, and everybody was hailing him and stuff, and I truly felt, I said, I was just trying to picture Shoaib do that for me, and I was like, oh my God, hell would have broken loose if that would have happened. They would have said that, he's such a Joruka Ghulam, oh my God, he's going and watching a women's cricket match, that whole thing about. So I just felt it, and honestly, sometimes humor also brings out the truth in many things, right? So I just found, and me and Anushka had a long conversation about it afterwards, saying,
Okay.
and we were both like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, I mean, this is so true. Like, imagine if our husbands did it. So, yeah, that was it.
Well, now I think this is just a very, very fun question. So we have like top 3 women athletes in our country. Is all are from Hyderabad. Mithali Raj, PV Sindhu, and Sania Mirza. So पानी में कुछ है या बिरयानी में कुछ है?
I think नहीं पता नहीं यार. I think sport has really been encouraged like in in Hyderabad quite a lot. We've had like so many great. I mean, we've had Mohammad Azharuddin, who's also now a family member of mine. His son married my sister, so. And then we have VVS Lakshman. I mean, we have Raidu. Like, there are so many players that you can name in different fields, whether it's Gopi Chand or Sindhu or Saina, Mithali, like you said. So I honestly think that one of my funny theories is that in Hyderabad we didn't have a lot to do. It was not as distracted as other big cities. So we used to derive all our energy into actually doing something and playing a sport, and it was fine to give like 5-6 hours a day. And I honestly think that has a lot to do with why we have like a lot of champions come out of smaller cities, because I feel that they are there's lack of distractions, because when you stay in bigger metropolitan cities, there's so many more distractions, there's so many more things that sort of you can do, right? I mean, we've all gone through it. We've all wanted to go for a friend's birthday party and we had to go for practice instead. We've all gone through that phase in our life. So,
sacrificing vacations.
I don't remember, like this time I'm gonna be home for Eid. I don't remember, like before I got pregnant, when was the last time I was at home for Eid, for example. Or for my birthday, actually I would never, because I would be in training, because the off season would start, so I would either be in camp or like I would be sleeping, or so it's very, this time I went to Goa. Like, I mean, I was like, I've never done that in my life.
I have a lot of friends, who are like literally complaining about long distance relationships and how difficult it is. And since it's a lockdown, many people can't meet. But for you, it's very different. Like, you've always been in a long distance relationship. So how difficult it has been for you, to manage that?
Well, I mean, people ask me, we just finished 10 years. We just completed 10 years of our marriage. We got married on April 12th, actually. So not a long time ago.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of people like messaged me and they were like, so what's the secret? And I said, well, the fact that we stay apart. That's the secret.
No, less fights.
No, I mean, but on a serious note, I think that all of us, like, whether it's cricketers or tennis players, I think athletes are so used to traveling. So any relationship we've ever had, it's always been long distance. I honestly think that if we spend every day together, we'll pull each other's hair out. Like, we need we've gotten so, because we are always used to this lifestyle. And I think whether it's, I think that that's how it works. It's just a mentality thing, to be very honest. So, I mean, for us, it's very normal that we don't see each other for 5-6 weeks. But honestly, now it's getting a little tougher with the baby, because I think that, Shoaib wants to spend a lot more time with him, and it was getting difficult because I was in training and obviously the baby was with me. And he was traveling and I didn't want to travel with the infant with me. Now he's a bit older, so it's a bit easier to sort of, travel. But I mean, I think that we just say to each other that it's not permanent, and it's something that, we both love our careers, and we both love our our ambitions so much that it's not going to last forever, right? I mean, at some point him and I are going to retire, so at that point we have all the time in the world to spend together.
And even in the I always wonder, like, see, for us, like sports people, we are so used to training at our best, and when you were pregnant for 9 months, so how tough was it that you wanted to do a few things, but you were we अपन कभी ऐसे restricted कभी feel नहीं हुए. You are always like, we have to go there, I have to train.
Honestly, the thing is that you'll see when you guys have babies, you'll see that when you want to have a baby, some priorities in your head change at that point, and you just start thinking differently about certain things and stuff. So we didn't have a baby for a long time in our marriage. We've been married for a long time, like I said, because we were not ready, and I was playing and all that. And but one day I woke up and I said, I want to be a mom today. Like I want to be a mother. So when that clicks, there's so many things in your mind that sort of your mentality change. Believe it or not, 2 nights before I gave birth, because I have a tennis court at home, I woke up at 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I was so uncomfortable. So I said, okay, I'm going to go and play. So I took my sister and my dad and I went and hit balls at 39 weeks and 5 days. And I was like, this baby is not coming out. I need this child to come out. And I was like, I just went to, I hit balls for like 25 minutes. And like, and I honestly, it felt so good. So I think that as athletes, we also respond to pregnancy differently. Like I was active, like until 2 weeks before I gave birth, I was walking 5 kilometers every day. I was doing yoga every day. So I think like, our bodies also kind of take pregnancy a little bit more differently than say people who are not athletes, because their bodies are not as strong as well. Yeah. So I didn't feel restricted, but it was very difficult to accept how your body changes. Like that is something that was a huge mental task. It takes a lot to accept that you're not, because all your life you've been fit and all your life you have a certain kind of body and a certain kind of like lifestyle, and suddenly everything changes. So yeah, those 9 months, that is a difficult part.
How difficult it was also for you to make a comeback, like after giving birth to your son, and after everything, you said you put on 26 kgs. Like how difficult it was for you?
I put on 23 actually. I lost 26, and the day I had a C-section, that was the last day that I ate whatever, because for those 9 months I ate everything. Like I was not like holding back, right? I was like, when am I ever going to eat everything in my life, which I've never done. So I was like eating. So the day in the hospital, the day I came back from the hospital, which was 3 days later, that was the last meal that I cheated on. I mean, I literally 3 days after I gave birth, I said, I cannot, like now I have no excuse. I don't have a human inside me. So I'm not going to eat everything that I see. And I literally started like a healthy diet. I was feeding for the first 3 months. So I needed to be a little conscious with that. But besides that, I started walking about 2 weeks or 2.5, 3 weeks after I gave birth, which is, very rare because I had a C-section. But my doctor was the one who advised me. She said, your body can take it. Don't worry. The first time I stepped on the treadmill, I felt so heavy. And I said, I'm never going to lose weight again. 4 months after that, I lost 26 kilos. It took 4 months, and it was very hard. It took a lot of stubbornness, a lot of determination. Every day, how our households, every day there's like food, there's so much food and my house, so I mean, there's constant food happening, like, I was on a very, like, I had a dietitian, I had a very set, I had only these many calories. I used to do about 2.5 hours of cardio every day. And only that, because when you have a C-section for 3 months, you can't use your core. And you literally lose your whole core because it's completely like, it's just soft. There's nothing there. So you have to build everything from like zero again. And then my trainer came after I lost about 20 kilos. My trainer came, and then for 6 weeks, I started tennis-based training, which included like everything, like basically everything. And that was like 3 hours a day. And then slowly after like 5 months, I started playing tennis.
हम लोगों को like World Cup जीतना is the biggest thing, like biggest dream for us. Like we've reached the final semis, we're not getting to the winning that trophy and being on that podium. But you've already been on the podium, won the Wimbledon. So how did that feel? Like just to know how does that feel like? Because individually, whenever you achieve, you get award somewhere. You want to have that World Cup, tabhi wo aisa hota hai ki satisfaction.
But it's gonna happen. You guys know that, right? It's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I think that like you said, I think that we all dream when we are young kids, and whether we pick up bats or tennis rackets, we all dream that one day we'll win Wimbledon, one day we'll win the World Cup, one day, you probably dream of one day I want to play at the Lords, or I dream of that I want to play. So, I mean, I think that we all grow up with these dreams, and honestly, like when that moment happens, it feels like this huge flashback of life happens in front of you in your eyes and it happens so rapidly, like all those waking up in the morning at 5 o'clock, going for training. I used to eat lunch in my tiffin box and go in an auto, rush to school, I had like permission to go a little bit later because I used to finish training. Then I used to go straight from school. I used to change in school and go to the tennis court, eat again in the dabba, and then come. So all those struggles that you go through, like of traveling for, in trains for like 40 hours, 45 hours, like just endless, like on like nothing, with no comforts. I mean, literally on like 3 tires, like, just sometimes without seats. I mean, like
general
all
bogie,
those memories come back, and it feels like everything was worth it. In that moment, it feels like everything is worth it. I don't know how to explain it in words better than this, but in that moment, it feels that all that you and your family have been through has been worth it because you have reached where you wanted to reach.
Right.
So, but you guys will feel it. You guys will feel it. I know it.
Yeah,
Hopefully we
soon.
experience it soon.
Yes.
Just the last question, just a very, very important question. I feel like I want to ask is like, how do you like reflect on the growth of women's sport overall? Like we had the FIFA Women's World Cup, which went really well. Then we have like badminton stars. You are already a star. Then cricket is also catching up. We got last World Cup was like 86,000 crowd, so that was like huge. So like, what do you think? Like, how is the women's growth progressed, and what do you think we can improve on, and where can we get?
But I think that from when I started, I mean, you guys won't believe it, but I used to play on tennis courts made out of cow dung. Like we used to literally made out of, we used to have to get tetanus injections to go and play tennis because just in case we fell, there would be like an infection. So, I mean, that's the kind of courts and the facilities that we've come with. So, considering that to where we are today, we've come a long, long, long way. And when I started playing tennis, the only woman athlete, at least from here, from India, was PT Usha. There was no other person that you had ever heard of, or who had made that kind of mark. And I think that what are we now, 25 years down the line, we are here today, and we can name at least 10 to 15 star athlete women who are from this country. And I think that itself shows you how much we have come, or progressed, from 25 years ago. I think that, like you said, I mean, it's you guys, it's whether it's Mithali is older. I mean, she's someone that I have known and seen for a very long time, and now you guys are kind of taking that baton. And then there's there's Sindhu and Saina, there's Sakshi Malik, there's Deepa Karmakar. I mean, these kind of names we could not have named before. Like there was no way. I mean, there was just one person you could name. And so I think that we have definitely progressed. I think that sport for girls is becoming more of an option, career option. Before, I think it was more like Kali ho jayegi, kyun ja rahi hai bahar. I think we've all faced those questions.
Yes.
These remarks, I think especially the subcontinent girl always faces. Saying, oh, how much will you make up? My parents were told, what do you think is going to happen? She's going to become Martina Hingis. Like, why are you making her play? She's becoming so dark. She's 12. She's been playing since 6 years now. Bas abhi, like you have to, like think of a serious career. Things like that. And I think that mentality has definitely changed, and I think that the very fact that we've got so many achievers in women and girls from this side of the world and in general as well. I think, like you said, you had 86,000 crowd for, that was unheard of before, like for a women's cricket match. So I think that definitely has changed. I still do think that there is still a long way to go in many ways, whether, and it's a more serious conversation, but when we get into equal pay and like, the money gap that is there, whether it is for, it's not just in cricket, but it's in every sport. And tennis is probably one of the few ones that we get the equal prize money when we play Grand Slams. But in general, we don't get equal prize money, only for Grand Slams. I mean, it's, so I think we are still questioned about why do you want to get equal prize money? And I think that until this question exists, we have to keep fighting, because the question should not be why we should get equal prize money. The question is why not? Why not? Why should we not get equal prize money? So I think that is one issue, and then I think the marketing maybe is one other issue. I think that if women's sports gets marketed in different ways and marketed more, there'll definitely be more of a following. And I think that you girls playing the finals the last 2 times at the World Cup is proving that you guys are also really good at something that is a male sport, so to say. That many people talk about. So I think that this all together. Today, we have a responsibility as women athletes to really take this forward and hopefully not make women's sport come backwards. It should only move forward from here. And, I think shows like this, I was so happy when you said that you have 6 or 7 women athletes coming here because I think that's really important, for people to see because the struggle is real for everybody, whether you're a male or a female.
I think it was great having you with us today, Sania. I mean, thank you so much for your time. Like, it's so inspiring to hear your story.
Thanks for having me, guys. See, somebody's come in my house. I don't know who in lockdown has come in my house.
It's so strange nowadays, na? Bell baji ki, are, who is it?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. Have a good show and be safe.
Yes, you too.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the favorite segment of our show, Questions and Answers with Jemmy and Smriti. So, Smriti, you go on, take ahead.
First question which has come is from Callis /MSD. A batsman or a batswoman from the past or present you would like to have a partnership with? Very interesting question. I think पुराने सालों में I think Belinda Clark का नाम बहुत सुना था. She was the first to score 200. So it would have been fun to have a partnership with her. And I think from the past, I should love watching Jaya Sharma bat. She was left-handed batter and she's played for India. So yeah, I would love to have had a partnership with her.
Now I'll answer the first question. It's by Zama Michael. What is one thing that Smriti does that annoys you? Okay, Zama is my cousin.
That's why he's asking this question. Oh God.
I call her Granny. So Granny, I'm going to answer your question now. What is one thing that Smriti does that annoys you? Breathe. Okay, next question.
What? Breathe?
Yes, that's my answer. That annoys me. Okay, next question, Smriti. Go ahead.
Second question for me is from Thakur Bhupendra Singh. What goes through your mind when you're not getting runs? Actually, very, very nice question for all the batters. It's very tough time and lot of बहुत frustrating time है. So that time I think that okay, क्या mistake हुई? How did I get out? And how do I get over it? और किस पे गुस्सा निकालूं? So is it Jemmy or who?
Guys, you know who it is. I mean, no prize for guessing also who किस पे गुस्सा निकालूं. Actually, when that happens, I sit quietly. I don't mess around with Smriti.
So yeah, no, but yeah, on a serious note, it's a tough time for a batter if you're not got runs. So we definitely go back to nets and try and see how we can get going and get better. Okay,
so my question is from Mayur. Can Jemmy speak Marathi? Smriti, what do you say? Do you want to praise my Marathi?
She's very bad at Marathi. She's very bad at Marathi. Don't even try, Jemmy.
काय सांगते तू ग? मला मराठी इतकं छान येतं ना ग की मी काय सांगू?
काय सांगू मी? I am speechless.
Okay, Smriti, next question.
Third question I have from Naomi. She's my KSL teammate from Western Storm. She's asked me, why do you always sleep in the changing room? So I don't know. Actually, I've not slept always. But जब भी बारिश होती है, I think rain delayed matches. I think why to waste your energy thinking कि match का क्या होगा, कब start होगी? So I rather prefer just sleeping off and just like maybe getting up whenever the captain says कि चलो अभी half an hour or 1 hour.
The truth is, Naomi, that I am not around to keep her awake. So that's the truth.
Come on, in the Indian team also I sleep, Jemmy.
Not in the dressing room, not when I'm around.
ठीक है चलो, I can't deny it because मुझे ज़्यादा भी तेरा ये नहीं करना है इधर.
Okay. The next question is by Feoba. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Feobha. So please forgive me if I pronounced it wrong. What was the longest time that you were made to sit quiet? I think Smriti can answer this better. Smriti had literally given me a challenge once. She's like, okay, Jemmy, I'm keeping a stopwatch over here.
Yeah.
You have to sit quietly for 10 minutes. And I failed that test. So you can imagine what's the longest time.
And even in the 5 minutes which she was quiet, उसमें भी Jemmy मुझे दमशराज से चीजें बता रही है. This is English, this is Hindi, and all of that stuff. So अभी she can't be quiet.
I think basically. The only time I am quiet is when I bat or after getting out early.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm very quiet.
When she's out, you like Jemmy sadme mein hoti hai.
Smriti struggles so much to with a stupid lame joke. She'll crack the joke, but I'm still like, okay, yeah. So after me getting out is the longest, I think.
And that night, how you try and explain.
Okay, bye. Let's go.
Should I give a glimpse?
That's it for today. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed our show and this episode. Please let us know. Do subscribe, do comment, and let us know what you feel about this show. Till then, this is Little J and Smriti Mandana signing off.